everyone. Welcome to Cozy Corner with Courtney. I'm your host, Courtney, and this is a very special episode celebrating 100 subscribers. We're going to do a Q&A session this episode. So in episode 13, I suggested that you guys could leave your questions in the comments and I would answer them in this special bonus episode once we reached 100 subscribers. Just to fill you guys in, I think we did reach 100 subscribers on Friday afternoon. And I'm so glad kind of that we still had the weekend and a couple days this week to kind of like get into the swing of things, because I don't think I was quite ready to film another video on the spot. And it gave people a little longer to put a question in the comment section, which somebody did, so I thank you for that. Now we have 2 questions to answer today, and they're good questions, so let's get right on into it. The first question that was asked was from Marissa. Hey Marissa. Okay, Marissa says, can you please tell me your fiber journey? Well, Marissa, okay, it's not, I can tell you it. It's not gonna be like, it doesn't have a bow, I should say. Like, it's not one of those, like, I discovered knitting and everything's been going so great since then. Like, it's really not like that. So I know, now I've got you wondering, so let's get right on into it. Basically, I have to start this out by saying that I was bullied like really, really bad in middle school, and there were like some things like, you know, in my personal like worlds that kind of made me act in ways that were like super, like made me prone to like getting bullied. So anyway, so there's that. But so this is middle school, and I like switched to a different middle school that like most of my friends in elementary school didn't go to, at the same time that all these changes are kind of happening in my personal realm that's causing me to like act kind of weird and get bullied, right? Not that anyone deserves to be bullied, but like without like going into too much detail, I should say that like I had become a target at this point, okay? Not that anybody deserves that label or anything, okay? So moving forward, basically I did have one friend though who was like really, really lucky, or like I was like really, really lucky because I did have like one friend, and we kind of shared like the same worldview in some ways. Like we didn't really, like, even though I was getting bullied and clearly I didn't want that, like I also kind of didn't care like what people thought of me. I was like a vegetarian and anyways, so yeah, I was a vegetarian really young, and it's not like I grew up in New York or anything. Like I grew up in the South, so there's that. And then nowadays, like, you know, that area is like much more vegetarian friendly and stuff. But when I was a kid, I was like the only person in any of my circles that was. And so we had like an animal rights protest like in the lobby of our school. Like for like a full week we did this, and we were inspired by like the Chick-fil-A posters with all the cows, because we didn't want to eat cows and we didn't think other people should either. So there's that. And you know, as an adult, or even like as an older teenager, I was never really one of those like PETA, like, and if that's you, power to you, but that was never really me, because I did grow up with like so many family members that ate meat. Anyway, so like I didn't want to step on people's toes. I just really wanted to be like respected and not like made fun of or like forced to eat meat, or like, you know, sometimes people would make jokes about things that bothered me. So yeah, like I don't want that to happen, but I'm also like, just cause I grew up in this setting, like, you know, I'm not usually like like definitely not the outspoken like animal rights person that, you know, some people are and can be, and you know, that's cool. But anyways, so I had this friend, Alexandra, and she was just really, really cool. Like she, you know, was kind of like down for me, as we would say now. Like back in the day, you know, I was getting bullied. She was fine with it. She didn't mind hanging out with me. She was awesome. And we had a lot of similar interests too, like with like animals and stuff. So she actually taught me how to knit when I was like 13, I want to say. And we had like a knitting group called the Lillis, and it was great. We were just like really embracing like whimsy and like random things at this time in my life. I know, and like people think like, because some of the things that I've been through, like later, like people would not think that, you know, I was so weird and random, but I really was at this time in my life. Anyway, so she taught me how to knit. We had the group called the Knittles. It was great. I think I made like a scarf. And then eventually over time, we kind of stopped doing that. We kind of stopped doing like the Knittles, and we kind of let like other friends into our friend group, and we kind of got more into just doing movie night and not really knitting and stuff. And you know, that's okay. Like I think we got into like baking and things as well. So, you know, power to us, the young teenagers that we were. Anyways, all that to say, like from that time, and also like my cousin started knitting, and I think she sent me with like a pattern for like a dishcloth. Okay, that's a whole other thing we could get into, how like there used to be patterns on the yarn skeins, because all of this takes place in like the early 2000s. Okay, so like 2003 to 2004. Yeah, 2004. Sorry, had to make sure I was right. Maybe 2005. I don't know. This is like my middle school era. Okay. So yeah, it was the time when like Sugar and Cream was like, we'd go into the, like, not the yarn store, but like the craft store, like the Joann's, I think, and or the Michaels. I think Joann though. And I mean, I remember her mom taking us inside there and seeing all the fake flowers for the first time. Like this wasn't in my world. Like, okay, I didn't have, my mom was into like some things, but I don't think she took me to Joann before, because I was surprised to see all the fake flowers around. Maybe it was Michael's. Look, I can't remember. Those stores used to be like right next to each other. And then they took me to like Sweet Tomatoes for the first time, which y'all know is sadly no longer around. It used to be like a buffet that had like a lot of kind of vegetarian things. Like you could be in control of like what went on your plate basically. So like I really liked that. Okay. Anyways, getting off track here. But it's all good. This is like a YouTube video, so I assume that you guys are watching it to hear me talk, but I am still trying to answer the question. Okay, so we're talking about the fiber journey. All right, so from this like brief time where I was like knitting, and I think I finished a scarf and like a dishcloth, maybe, you know, and actually the scarf was pretty long, so that was kind of like, it took me a while. It wasn't like very brief, okay? But from this like era, right, I didn't pick up like, you know, we started doing other things. I didn't pick up my needles again until I was 19 and pregnant with my oldest daughter. And I think I like didn't have any money and was trying to come up with like a very thoughtful gift for my dad, who I gotten remarried like 2 years prior, which was like also really traumatizing. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Okay, so my dad had gotten remarried a couple of years prior, and then like, you know, I got pregnant at 19, and I'm just feeling like very like, my dad was like a very important like figure in my life, and I'm just feeling like, you know, because my relationship with him was like not like, you know, I wasn't like the star daughter, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, I think I picked up some yarn. I think I just grabbed some yarn from my stash that like somehow I still had access to after all those years, after like 6 years, which is kind of crazy that in 6 years your life could change so much, but it did. And anyways, I picked that up. I tried to start, no, you know what it was? I think I went and like bought him like some soft like chenille yarn or something, and I was like, I'm gonna make my dad a scarf with this really soft yarn. And I can't, like, honestly, I don't know what I was doing in a craft store at that time, but anyways, So I think I started knitting this like chenille black scarf for my dad when I was pregnant at 19. And then I didn't finish it. Like, I didn't finish it in time for Christmas. And I felt kind of bad. So fast forward to 2021. It was COVID. I'm a single mom, and I had quit the job that I had working online in September 2020 because it got to be too much. Like, I had zero support at the time, and I was like in school, and I was also expected to like keep up with the kids' school, and they're like violently like protesting, doing their online schoolwork. It was terrible, y'all. Also, like, I had twins during COVID that were 5 and learning how to read. And okay, during COVID they might have been 6. Like, learning how to read though, and it being asked to type on a keyboard for their schoolwork, okay? It was insane. And I was like, I'm a 28-year-old mom, right? I'm a 28-year-old single mom of these kids with zero support. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? So I ended up quitting my job. I was like, you know what? I'm just really gonna have to trust in the universe on this one because I still wanted to finish school. I knew I had to be more like present and involved to kind of get the kids through this online schooling thing. And I was like, I'm just gonna trust the universe. I have no idea which way this is going, but I knew I couldn't really do my job anymore. And also, like, the material I was dealing with this data job was like kind of like, you'd say like third-hand traumatic stuff, and I'd already been through like a lot of trauma at this point, so being like so isolated and looking at more like traumatic content like really wasn't good for my mental health. So quit my job in September. It's fast forward to like spring of 2021. After quitting my job in September 2020, fast forward to spring 2021, I'm finishing up school. I'm working a double course load. I'm like relying on the help of one of my parents. That was like really not a good move, and because like that person was kind of toxic and stuff. But anyways, I was kind of doing what I had to do like out of necessity, I felt like at that time. And so I was taking on a double course load my senior year of college online at 28 to go ahead and get my degree in history and graduate. And I remember like there was this one day where like by the time spring semester of 2021 rolled around, we had the kids enrolled in school again. You didn't have to at that point, but I had been so overwhelmed with trying to do their schooling myself that we just opted to send them back. And I know, like, yeah, I mean, I know people have different views on like COVID and everything, but and clearly like all of that is valid. So please don't come at me for like my decision. And if you do come in the comments, it's fine. Like, just, vent, like, say what you have to say. Like, I get it. But anyway, so all that to say, I was in my senior year of college, double course load, taking a risk, putting the kids back in school in spring of 2021. And but kind of just doing that out of necessity. I'm doing things that I have to do at this point. And I think I took a trip one day to go to like North Georgia because I was studying something that like kind of coincided with some historical monument up there. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna like take a little like field trip, little break, like not study break because I don't know, like I was a little burned out at this time too. I might not have been the best student anyways by this time in my college career, but I just thought I'd go and check it out. And on the way back from that, I was thinking like it was a weird train of thought, but I think it was just that I would really like to have like a craft to do. And basically I ended up like driving to Michael's before I picked the kids up from school. And at Michael's, I just picked up some black yarn to finish making my dad's scarf. and some knitting needles, and 2 weeks later I got to give the scarf to my dad, so there we go. I got to give the scarf to my dad in person. Yay! Wow, that was a really long story. I know. And then, I won't get into how the big events in knitting that have happened over the past few years, and how I've improved my techniques, because I did go from literally that whole time for years I was knitting with twisted stitches, and then somebody on the internet finally reached out. It was a person on Instagram finally reached out and said, hey, you're knitting wrong. And I really appreciate that, because now my stitches aren't twisted, so thanks girly. I'm gonna put, I think I will put her handle up on the screen, her Instagram handle. I don't know if she's really looking for recognition though, so maybe not. But yeah, thanks. If you're watching this and you know who you are, thanks so much, because you saved me. You saved me. Seriously, because my knitting for years was all twisted stitches. So I'm so thankful that as of February of this year, I know the right way to knit. I'm not gonna cringe and think about all the projects I knit with twisted stitches. Not gonna do that. So thankful that I get to move forward knowing the right way. So thank you so much. Yay! All right, let's get to the next question. The next question is from Happy Little Yarn on YouTube, and they ask, what is your favorite object that you have made? Okay, so I thought about this. I had a few days to think about your question, and this was the answer I came up with. I'm gonna kind of hold it up. I don't know how well you can see it in the screen, but this is what I would call, okay, sorry. This is what I would call my shark tooth sweater, and this pattern is self-drafted. And I really love it. I love the way it came out. The bottom, I love this colorway here. This colorway, this tealish aqua blue, is called Goldfish, and it's a colorway by the Lemonade Shop Yarns. It's actually a DK weight yarn, so I held it double to create this. The rest of this is in worsted weight, and you can see that the stitches are twisted. But that's because I made it before I knew better. This colorway here is actually an exclusive colorway that the Little Wolf Knits created, and it was created for Natalie's of Knitty Natty's membership in January 2023. So I love that. The rest of this is just what I would consider, I know what people mean when they say workhorse yarn. I haven't heard Wool of the Andes described as a workhorse yarn before, but I would consider this a workhorse yarn, baby. Cause look, we've got all these, we've got these fun color pops. It cost me less than a skein, even combined, of these beautiful hand-dyed colors to create this fun color moment right here. And then all through this is Wool of the Andes. I believe this is in colorway Almonds. The sleeves are also Wool of the Andes, because I ran out of almonds, or I was about to run out. I knew I didn't have enough for the sleeves. And this colorway is in Marina. Now, when I went to take finished object photos for this, I had the idea that I should take them in the pool area where we used to have our apartment, our apartment community pool, right? And there were these canopies kind of that had these tents that were this color. And when I tell you, I felt like it was divine guidance, with that idea that I should take pictures there, because I don't think I realized that, the colors would coordinate so nicely. I just thought that the pool would be a nice place to take pictures. And I'll throw a couple of those pictures up on the screen. I thought that all really went nicely. Now, this project isn't finished yet, but I do have oops, sorry, sliding off there. I do have my Seacrest tee blocking. And honestly, based off of the pre-blocking fit check and the vibes, guys, as much as I love this, my shark tooth sweater, my self-drafted pattern, I kind of love the fit of the Seacrest tee a little bit more. Maybe, I don't want to say more. I don't want to compare them because they're like my creations, you know, so I don't want to compare or contrast between the two. But I will say that, you know, the Seacrest tee is giving me much more of a fitted like look. I feel a little more like put together, not so eccentric, which is fine to be eccentric. You know, it's awesome, but it just feels like a little bit more of like a just attractive kind of a fit and kind of a vibe. And, you know, is attractive what we need to go for all the time? No, like, sure, you know, you can have your loose eccentric moments, like you can have more of those, like, you know, it's just, but I feel like as far as like creating something that fits my body, I think that this is good. Okay, thank you guys so much for your questions. Thank you, Marissa. Thank you, Happy Little Yarn, for your amazing questions. I hope I gave good answers. I hope I don't really feel, I asked like maybe I overshared a little bit, but I don't really feel like I did. Like, this is just, if you know me, or like if you know a little bit about my life, this is kind of just like the broad brush strokes of things. Besides, maybe some of the stuff from middle school was like a little bit more pointed, but who doesn't love nostalgia? All right, am I right? Am I right? Well, let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you're a millennial, you know, I love to hear from you. So let me know what your favorite memory is of the early 2000s. Let me know what your favorite memory is of the early 2000s down below, and let's chat. All right, as always, you can subscribe to me on YouTube and to be alerted for whenever I make more videos. And I'd love to like keep talking and continue the conversation with you guys and some of these more like casual kind of videos too. All right, thanks everyone. I hope that you are happy and healthy and safe wherever you are, and have a great day. Bye.